does receiving the Governor General's Performing Arts Awards mean to you?
Certainly comes as a surprise when you have a career in a rock band to get a medal. That doesn't happen every day. What's really wonderful about this award is that the nominees are chosen by the public, and that's a great honor that the public would choose our little band and think that we are worthy of such an honor.
And also, we love a party, you know? And this is a slightly elevated party than most of the things we get invited to.
This is the hoity-toityest party
like, you know, we're not
I've
usually
ever been to.
included in this, you know, sort of thing. And I think that partially part of it too is that when you see the list of the people that have won this award, you don't really see how you fit in that list. You know, like you're just wondering when they're going to say, excuse me, oh, there was a mistake.
Who we thought you were.
Someone was writing a note to their daughter about something, you know. So you just, so it's a very, you know, as I say, it's a higher thing, and it's sort of like deeper into the DNA of the culture of this country.
What does art do in terms of contributions to our culture?
We kind of have three things. We kind of have art, we kind of work, and we have where we live. And then they think those
And
are
the
the
Montreal
things.
Canadiens.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs. And those are the ways that we define ourselves. I mean, we participate somehow in all of those things because we travel around so much. We hear so much, you know, at this time in our career, people aren't discovering us anymore. They've lived with us for a long time. So they're telling us things about themselves. They're not telling us about us anymore. And so we hear all the lives of Canadians, and we hear how we've, not just us, I mean as a representative of Canadian culture, how we fit into their lives, how we have been with them when they travel, how we've been with them when they have kids, how we've been with them in a rough patch. You know, we're older, so people that we know have been through rough patches in their lives. And I think we were lucky enough to come along in the 80s when music turned, when all of a sudden Canadians wanted to hear Canadian music. They were tired of listening to American stories and British stories. And that's happened in literature. It happened probably, 20 years before that in literature. And so Canadians understand now that that's where they can look to find reflections of their own lives and try to find some way of saying things about their lives that they can't say themselves.
What words of advice would you give to young musicians?
Don't expect to make money.
Just do what you love.
Yeah, perseverance, I think, is the biggest piece of advice you can give. You know, just if you love it, just keep doing it. And who knows? I mean, I could never have imagined wearing one of these around my neck, really. You know, from the Cameron House to here, it's a long way. But,
We got a gig there next week.
it's a long way back, too.
Was there ever a moment when you thought about throwing it all in, giving it up, and how did you overcome that?
Well, for me, it's actually quite recent. I've had a lot of trouble with my ears the last few years. They've become hypersensitive, and I can actually hear well, but certain frequencies and volumes really fatigue my ears. They get painful, and the way this band adapted to that and made a place for me to be able to play music again was an amazing thing about this band. You know, like they had to relearn sort of how to perform on stage. And it took a while, you know, you just don't change overnight. And everybody went on in-ears. Glenn started playing with brushes, you know, one of the most ferocious drummers in Canada is playing with brushes and blastics, you know. And so that's an amazing thing to see a band, at least I think so, you know, adapt like that. And that's sort of part of the story that I like about Blue Rodeo, that we have adapted all along. New members, old members, personal tragedies, all the rest of it.
We've had a lot of close calls.